Everybody excited to be here this morning? Excellent. Always like it when we can pack a room with excavators, locators, and utilities and talk overall damage prevention. So I attended my first Blue Stakes meeting in 2002 in Logan, Utah. I've been a part of them ever since. I like them. They're great. I get to take away a lot every year from these new ideas to take home back to our company and try different things to help improve overall damages, right? So we're going to cover a few things today here, and to me it's about us working together, communicating, locators and excavators. When we're doing that, it works. We can prevent line strikes overall, regardless of fault or liability. It seems like we talk a lot of fault and liability, and we should be talking overall damage prevention. And regardless of fault or liability, just go for 0 line strikes, right? That's what we should be talking about. So how effective Blue Stake requests improve locators' efficiencies? Factors that impact on-time performance for locators. So these are just some of the topics we'll cover today. Requesting oversized dig areas, not reasonably updating project tickets, lack of white lining, and access issues. These are some of the topics that ends up delaying your guys' tickets from getting marked timely and accurately. And those are the 2 big things you'll hear me talk a lot about, timely and accurate. That's what we want out there. That's what we train our guys for. Accurate locates. You guys need to be safe out there digging on our marks, and they need to be on time. We don't need to be delaying your projects. So we're going to ask, today I'm going to be asking a lot of the excavators to work directly with us and help us prevent some of these delays with working with you guys. So let's start with request an oversized dig area. We see this quite a bit. Mark entire intersection. Type of work, installing a sign. Ask for the entire intersection to be marked, but the sign is going in on the northeast corner. We could do a 10-foot radius around this, but yet our guys taking the time to mark all of this in the entire intersection when there's one spot being dug on. And guess what? It takes more time for our guys, so he's not getting to possibly your next ticket or somebody else's next ticket. We want to make sure we have the marks accurately out there on time for your job, but we don't need our guys marking a bunch of unnecessary area out there. Because it's just delaying either your next ticket or somebody else's ticket, okay? Each locate request takes time to perform safely, accurately, and completely. Typically, the larger the job is, the longer it takes. More time is required when troubleshooting is necessary. And we do a lot of that troubleshooting when we're marking. So if we're delayed because of troubleshooting, again, we want to make sure that we get accurate marks on the ground. So we may take a little extra time getting it marked, but we're doing that so that the marks are accurate. Making sure we're checking documentation, drawings, all of that, because sometimes that signal is just not good enough to put the paint on the ground for you guys. Excavators and locators benefit from understanding the relationship between efficiency and effectiveness. Locators are more efficient when they receive effective locates requests from excavators. Excavators are more effective when locates are completed efficiently. Excavators and locators working together is a vital component in damage prevention. And that's a statement that always rings home to me. I tend to fall back on that a lot. As long as we're communicating and we hold up to our end of the agreement, you guys hold up to yours, things work. We see it in a lot of areas where it's all about communication. So efficiency, some of the important things to a locator, accurate, complete, on time. Improve safety, less time in streets, yards, traffic, all of that. Effectiveness for excavators, we believe, achieving goal with no delays for you guys. Excavating around good marks, right? Accurate marks. That's what we want every day on every job, every line. So this is, I like to show real examples. This is a real ticket that was called in. So it called for both sides of the street, front and long. Our experienced technician had to walk up to each one of these houses, hook to the gas meter, mark the service line out, mark that entire main. On an experienced locator, it takes them about 90 minutes to complete this job, give or take. Some utilities are going to take longer depending on what they got to deal with. And this is what was really being dug on, was the south side of the street. They were not going anywhere on the north. So we spent, that could have been cut in half onto your guys' next ticket. And that's really what we want, right? Here's another example that I like to bring up is that on the left here, the dig area called for entire lot. On the right, they were digging around the water meter in the front of the lot. Could have done a 10-foot radius around that water meter. We'd have been on to the next ticket. Okay? So we really want to make sure that we get your guys' tickets marked accurately and timely. And again, if we're out there spending time marking a bunch of unnecessary stuff, we're just holding up somebody or your next ticket, and we don't want to do that. So the next thing, updating large project tickets. A significant negative impact for on-time performance is time spent on large projects. Okay, we've kind of been talking about that. Here's a little of example of inefficient, ineffective, and efficient and effective. When we're talking about updating project tickets, just the blocks, if you're already excavated blocks 1 and 2, and then you update the ticket, but you don't update starting at block 3, we're down there marking block 1 and 2 for you. When you're already done with that, you need us up top, right? Here's a better example of a real ticket. This original ticket was called in from 1300 east to 2000 east. Okay, our guy goes out, marks it up. Takes quite a bit of time to mark that. Then the first update comes in, as you can see, the second graph, it's a quarter of that project's been done. But when the ticket was updated, they updated from 1300 the full ticket again. So we either have to call you guys, get the documentation, get an agreement in place that, okay, we're gonna start here and we're gonna continue on, or we have to mark it. And remember that documentation, if we make an agreement and don't mark what the ticket says, we have to have that documented, tied to the ticket, and we hold that information for 7 years in case something happens. So we're either spending time documenting or we're marking it out. And unfortunately, a lot of times what we end up doing is marking it out, and it's a lot of wasted unnecessary marks. And as you can see, the second update, we're halfway through that job, but yet still it came in as a full update from 1300 east. And then that final update, we would have spent about probably 15, 20 minutes marking that last little stretch there and on to your guys' next tickets. White lining, I talk about white lining a lot. We operate in a lot of states where white lining is mandatory. State of Utah is not, but I like to talk about it because I do see in other states that we operate in where it's mandatory, is it is beneficial to have white lining out there. And I know driving in this morning, you're probably thinking, okay, how do you want me to white line this morning, right? That's a little challenging, and we're covered with white stuff. Reno, Nevada, they actually, I'll show an example. So reasons to white line every time. Information provided by the excavator working in the field is often difficult to describe to the call center. Locate tickets called in by office personnel who are often unfamiliar with the physical area can create confusion. And then this typically results in requesting larger areas for ease of the requester, but creates unnecessary effort and time spent for the locators. So here's an example of Reno, Nevada, and trust me, Reno, Nevada gets a lot of snow. But in Reno, Nevada, white lining is mandatory. If that ticket is not white lined, it's not a valid ticket. We move on. Positive response, that ticket is not white lined. So as you can see in the photo on the right there, that dig area is very well described, bracketed in the white lined area. That's where we know they're gonna be digging. We mark 5 feet or so beyond the white painted area, just so that you guys have a direction of where it's going in case for some reason you have to maybe move out of the white line, but there again, if they do, they're supposed to call in another ticket. So white lining precisely guides our locators to the exact boundaries where the excavation will occur. White lining helps ease the burden of locators' heavy workloads by giving them more time to accomplish accurate locates in the reduced excavation area. White lining reduces the number of delayed locates. And again, that's a big one for me. I don't want any delayed locates for you guys. White lining makes job sites safer for locators by reducing walking, bending, accessing structures, and the big one is time spent in traffic. White lining prevents excessive markings, which leads to complaints, and we do get a lot of those homeowner complaints. I'm sure you guys have dealt with them as well. After we get out there and mark all your dig area, I'm sure you guys hear about it a lot on the job site from a lot of homeowners. I know we do. So tips for white lining. Identify your company's name and or blue stake number in the white lined area. We obviously recommend we take photos of all of our marks. Hopefully you guys do it once it's marked before you start your job. Ensure access is available for locators. If you don't have white paint, use flags or stakes. In Nevada, when it's snowing, like right today, I'm sure they're getting covered too. They use white flags for the boundaries, the corners or the area, and then they write their ticket number with a Sharpie on that white flag. In Nevada, where white lining is mandatory, if we show up in the white lining, we're not sure it's not matching the description on the ticket, then we can pick up the phone and call you and start talking through, okay, where are we actually going to be? We can see the white paint, it's not matching the description. And that's a phone call that we definitely will want to make and make sure that when we get this marked for you, it's where you need. Another delayed ticket, access issues. Some of the common reasons for access issues, we deal with the threatening dogs, threatening animals all the time. Locked gates, homeowners not home, and then that upset residents that were on their property, don't want us anywhere around their property, and then the troubled locates. These are just some of the reasons that we have delays. And driving in this morning, we do a lot of late starts with our guys. We like to let snow plows get out, get the streets cleared off, get the main traffic off the road. So sometimes when the weather's real bad like this, we'd rather have them call you guys and delay the ticket a little bit than to be out there in this, what we all got to drive through this morning. Many factors can delay utilities being marked on time. Effective locate requests that are white lined help reduce or eliminate delays in your locate ticket. Updating large project tickets to exclude completed areas helps locators be more efficient on time. And again, I can't say it enough. Accurate on time for you guys. That's what we're after. That's what we want every time you call a ticket in. So get your clickers ready. All right, excavators can make blue stake locate requests more effective by A, always requesting entire lots, B, only requesting the areas that need marked, and we've got C, always requesting both sides of the street, D, not using white lines to identify dig areas. And they're clicking in, guys are getting there, almost. Okay, great, 94 of you are correct. Only request areas they need marked. Single resident lot locate requests take the same amount of time to locate and mark whether you request the entire lot to be marked or a specific area of the lot. True or false? Be an easy one there, we'll get almost there. Stragglers. All right, here we go. 93% of you are correct. False. Last one. Effective and efficient locate requests, A, are only important to locators. B, focus on the process. C, improve safety for both excavator and locators. Or D, focus on the results. Okay, we're almost there. A few left. Here we go. 92% of you are correct. Improve safety for both excavators and locators. All right, thank you for your time here this morning. And we're going to turn this over to a video with Logan.